Hey guys, this is Benjamin with Benjamin's Exotics, and today I already did a video a little bit earlier on recessive traits in ball pythons. So now we're going to be looking at codominant traits. In my opinion, they're much closer to how a recessive trait acts than a normal incomplete dominance or just normal dominant trait in ball pythons. We'll use that as our example today. Just because of the way they have super forms and, recessive, you have to have it expressed fully. So let's get straight into it. It's actually very simple to comprehend. Real quick warning, the way that lots of the people who breed reptiles, especially if they breed reptiles, use these genetic terms is a little bit different from the way that people who are in genetics, studying genetics or teaching genetics in a school will use these terms. Just warning real quick. So let's look at our basic chart right here, and let's set both of these to what would be a het something, or in this case, let's say this is, we're just going to use this as a normal example. This is basically something that would be het something, right? And this is how it normally plays out, right? If you're talking about recessive, like I just did, you have your heterozygous, your normal, and your fully expressed. Now, both of these are going to represent, how do I want to say this? This is a little bit more complicated than the recessive. Like the recessive, how we have, really you should, real quick as well, I would watch the recessive video before you watch this, because if you don't, you might be a little bit lost. But let's say, we're going to use pastel for this example, right? These two animals that we're breeding together are basically het for super pastel. These two are pastels, right? They're basically heterozygous for super pastel. But the difference between this and recessive is the form is actually expressed. So, when we talk about, actually a better example would probably be Mojave, but when we're talking about recessive stuff, we say it's heterozygous for, right? But that means that it's normal, and inside of it, it has another gene that just simply isn't expressed. When we're looking at this, these genes will be expressed. So these are normal pastels. They have a more goldish, look to them than the normal brown and black that your normal snakes will, right? But this is the crown jewel. Now, as we know, this is your super pastel. What happens if you breed a super pastel to a normal? Anybody that's bred snakes before or has studied reptile genetics like these would know, if we take just a super pastel to a normal, we're going to get all babies that represent our pastels. Meaning, if you have an animal that's super for anything, super Mojave, super, or allelic as well, but let's say it's super Mojave, super lesser, super fire, super pastel, super cinnamon, super anything. We say super because when you breed that snake to anything, every single baby, no matter what other genetics it has to be carrying the pastel or whatever it's super for gene. It will not, unless the other snake has that gene as well, be in its super form, but it will be expressing it, unlike recessive, where it keeps it in a heterozygous form, where you can't tell the difference. Okay, so it's actually very simple, just a little bit complicated when you compare it to the recessive as an analogy. So I'll do one more. So let's say, well, this is how we got one super pastel, but then if this is your pastel and this is your normal, let's breed a pastel. I'm using A's. I could have used P's, but A's are a little bit better because they actually change from uppercase to lowercase. So let's breed your, as we said, these are pastels. We're going to breed a super pastel to normal pastel. And as you can see, there's a pastel we just produced right there. There's a super pastel. And again, pastel and super pastel. Now, real quick, I'll give you a quick rundown on why these animals are so, we'll say important if you're ever going to think about getting any of these and breeding them or something like that. When you have an animal like this, right? If you don't want to get any normals, this is a powerhouse. Let's say you had like a a super pastel, super Mojave, or something like that. That'd be crazy, like a super Pastavi almost. Anytime you breed that to anything, both of those genetics have to come out in every single animal. So you can eliminate normals, and if you're looking 100%, you're saying, I want to produce as many Pastavis as I can this year, breed a super Mojave to a super pastel, and every single one of the babies has to be a Pastavi or something like that, which is a pastel Mojave. So these snakes, that's why their value is, besides their looks, that's why their value is very high compared to other things in the market. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Again, the difference between codominant and dominant is codominant has a super form, meaning you can produce it like this, and when you breed it to a normal, every single baby must be showing that it carries this trait. Maybe it doesn't look the same as this, it won't in most cases, but it'll be carrying the trait visibly. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. If you want to learn more about recessive or dominant traits, I really suggest looking at 2 more videos that are going to be coming out. But as I said, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.